Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I would like to talk about an herb that helped me a lot recovering from cardiac issues. I'm still using it, but I already noticed a lot of improvement, and it helps with circulation, heart issues, blood pressure issues, and feeling unsteady when you have encountered long haul COVID, and also if you deal with a chronic illness like Lyme disease, mold toxicity, chronic fatigue. I'm going to talk a little bit about this herb, and as a disclaimer, please consult with your family physician, with your health caretaker, alternative health practitioner, and I have to give this disclaimer, so please do your due diligence before taking this herb. From what I know, it's a safe herb, and I've been taking it, and it's been really helpful. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my symptoms, the symptoms that I was dealing with after having COVID a few times. And I also, before COVID, I was dealing with chronic Lyme disease and mold toxicity, and before that I had chronic fatigue, and I've been dealing with chronic Lyme and mold toxicity for a long time now. And for as far as COVID, I've been dealing with it for a few years with the LonghaulCovid. And you know, with chronic Lyme disease, I already had breathing issues, air hunger, and it started to come back much worse after getting COVID. And after taking the vaccine, I noticed also return of brain fog and air hunger. But then when I got COVID, I started noticing the heart symptoms, the cardiac symptoms, and circulation issues. Getting the circulation issues were I had some before COVID, but then the heart issues that's a new symptoms, and they were when I got COVID, they were a lot to deal with, and I had to do my own protocol because, as you know, as anyone who has chronic Lyme knows, sometimes you have to take things into your own hands, and you have to do your own research and do your own thing to just recover. Anyway, so I'm going to describe some of the symptoms. The symptoms that I was dealing with was high blood pressure, palpitations, feeling like I don't have enough circulation, sometimes feeling like I don't have enough blood going to my extremities like my legs or my hands, neuropathy, feeling just like my heart wasn't pumping right. And I also had cardiac EKG, and they showed like there was some abnormalities happening with the heart electricity. Other symptoms were breathing issues, air hunger, and just feeling a lot of fatigue. Like, I used to have chronic fatigue, so this felt like chronic fatigue to me, but it wasn't as long as when I had chronic fatigue, because at some point I had chronic fatigue for more than a year and a half, and this did not last that long, but it just felt like the same intensity as chronic fatigue. And the herb that I used was called uvaursi. And uvaursi is an herb that is known for the kidneys, and there is a huge connection between kidney health and the heart health and circulation in general, because the kidney filters blood and is a very important organ. And I feel like when you get COVID, some of the issues with circulation has to do also with the organ of the kidneys. I believe it affects the kidneys. That's just my understanding. So this herb is great because it's anti-inflammatory, it's an antiseptic, and it's Also antiviral, which is very helpful. It's cardiac tonic, which can help the cardiac symptoms. And it's circulatory, which means it helps the circulation, the blood. And if it helps the kidneys, it must help the blood. It also helps with lung issues. So the most important aspect of this herb is it being anti-inflammatory. That's very, very important. Another benefit that I know from this herb as well is that it helps with water retention, and I believe, and when you have water retention, that also affects the lymphatic system, it affects the body, and it creates a weird electrolyte imbalance, which can show up as many symptoms. It can show up as cardiac symptoms, it can show up as just many weird symptoms. Another symptom that I did not mention was just feeling unsteady, and it's not unsteady as in like having an ear infection. It's just unsteady as in like walking, unsteady as in like getting up and just feeling just unsteady. It seemed more like it had a neurological aspect to it. But then when I started using the Uva-Ursi, all these symptoms started clearing up, and I started feeling more energy, and it's just like I didn't have to think a lot about movement, because sometimes when you feel unsteady and you have cardiac symptoms and circulatory symptoms, you just have to think about a lot of things before you do it. But then I didn't have to do all that, so I knew the herb was working because it was healing a lot of these issues. I also used another supplement. It's called BPC 157. It's a peptide. It is not necessary to use, but I've been using it from before because that helped me heal a lot of gut issues. And I also noticed that using that, the BPC 157, helps a lot of the supplements work better. It has a synergistic effect, and I believe it has that synergistic effect because it helps the gut, because the gut is so messed up if you have any chronic illness. And even with the GMO foods and just the quality of the food nowadays, there is a lot of gut issues. So that the peptide, the BPC 157, has been very helpful in healing. It's one of my main go-to if I ever get anything similar to COVID. So I hope this video helps you. If you have any tips of your own, please leave them in the comment section. If this video helped you, please give a like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Leave them in the comment section and I will get back to you. And see you guys in the next video.